When I first got this contract position, I was very excited because there are several key things that I'm saving towards. And I liked the fact that they said you can build your hours, it's very flexible, you could choose when to work, and the pay rate was $25 an hour, which meant that I could accumulate to my goal faster than, let's say, $15 an hour or $18 an hour for the type of work that we were doing, which was being advocates for patients, specifically those on Medicare and Medicaid. Now, the thing I did not like about this position was the pay schedule. They had stated that you work for the month and then 7 days after the month closes is when they would pay you. I really didn't like this because it felt very delayed. And honestly, to me, it felt as though they had bad money management because of when contracts close. Anywho, this was just my perspective of it, but I said, all right, a week after, sure, I can do it. Let me see how it is. And so I worked the hours. My first month working for this company, I ended up logging just under 51 hours. The total was $50 and the total was 50 hours. 50.98 hours was the total. So just under 51 hours of work. And then the day before they were supposed to pay us, they sent out a company-wide Slack message saying that, oh, there's been an issue with payroll due to some technical issues. You won't be paid till Monday, which agitated me because as a big company, what do you mean? And so this made me look into the Slack channels, and this is not the first time that this has happened. And that was my first red flag of what's going on here. Y'all have bad money management? In my opinion, yes. So Monday came and went, and I was not paid. And so I reached out to the HR person and said, hey, I haven't been paid. And they said, oh, there's a little issue specifically, she said with me. I don't know who else it was with. She said there's a little issue where we did not approve the invoices, but it will be approved by Friday. And I said, oh, well, then we have two issues because I wasn't even thinking about the non-admin hours. Those are just 5 minutes a day, 7 minutes a day, the max probably 10 minutes a day where you can, for non-admin work, for non-patient facing work, this is checking emails, Slack meetings. They give us up to reasonably probably 10 minutes to say I was doing some non-admin stuff. And you are supposed to submit this time with documentation as to what you were doing, and then they say if it counts or not, and they can deny it. So that wasn't even the money that I was looking after. That was not the money I was thinking about because it was not enough money. It was less than $80. I was thinking about the almost 51 hours I had logged. Where's my money for that? So I emailed her back and said, we have two issues. I'm not just talking about this money. I'm talking about the big chunk. And then she says, oh, corporate lingo. And then this is the second red flag. She said, you should be paid on Monday. Should be paid on Monday? Shouldn't it be you will be paid on Monday? You all have fixed this problem. It's been resolved. My money is now in my account come Monday. Luckily for them, Monday came, and I guess luckily for me too, I got paid. And so as soon as that money hit my bank account, that was the moment I typed up and said, I'm out of here. Respectfully, this does not work for me. And so I no longer have this contract position, which is unfortunate because there are several things I was saving for, and I'm still saving for them, but now I just have to figure out another way to get money to save for them. I do have, well, we'll see. It looks like people are not wanting to pay. Contract positions are looking to be interesting. How I am waiting for payment from another company. It's supposed to come September, October. Hopefully I get paid by October. We'll see. And so this is how I'm splitting up the money that I did receive into the different categories. Here, because I had worked, let me get my paper and pen, get the exact to the dollar amount. All right, so because I had worked 50.98 hours, and then there were 6 hours of training that they're paying everybody for. So the total was 56.98 hours at a rate of $25. Brings my total that ended up in my bank account because they don't take taxes out. You have to do that on your own in the back end, which is fine. I'm a taxpayer, I don't care. I'll do that. Was $424.50. I hit my bank account, and this is how I plan to split it. I'm setting $250 to my Roth IRA. Previously, for the last couple years, I had not been contributing to my Roth IRA because I had been contributing to my 401k and my brokerage account as the main ways of investing for the future. Now that my income is below the threshold for the Roth, below the limits, I can contribute to the Roth IRA. And so I'm making an intentional effort to try to get to the number before the end of the year. This is my first contribution. So the total that I ended up putting towards that was $250, which means I have $7,250 left to contribute to my Roth IRA. The next thing that I ended up purchasing with this money that I got was a course for H&R Block. I just need a refresher since I'm going to be going on my own for this tax season that's coming up, and I won't have another tax preparer there to be like, hey, I have a question about this. It's gonna be me, the tax book, and Google. I thought it would be in my best interest to just take another refresher course, make sure I'm feeling as confident for the next year, for the tax year that's coming up. And so total for that with H&R Block for their course material, because technically they don't charge for the class, but they do. They charge for the course material. It's going to be 3 hours twice a week for, I believe, 8 or 10 weeks. And total for that was $162.55 for the H&R Block class. And I think it'll be a good idea too, because as I build up my clientele, hopefully the first year goes well, but as I build up my clientele, if I can contract for H&R Block by having taken their class, I feel like it's a win for me. And so this is the dual reason as to why I decided to take the class, which will be starting next month, September. Okay, now on to the 3 main things I'm saving for that I want to get. The first thing is a new phone. I have a love-hate relationship with Apple products. I think that their shit is very expensive. And is it worth the quality? I don't know. But a lot of the pictures I have with some loved ones who have passed is on this phone, and I need to figure out a way to put it into the cloud. I had thought that a hard drive would make sense, but there were older pictures that I put on a hard drive. That hard drive is no longer connected to my computer. It could be my laptop issue. This laptop's over 8 years old. But it could also be the hard drive issue. I don't know. When I get back to Arizona, I'm buying a new laptop. And then I will see, hopefully my hard drive still connects with it. But I just want it in the cloud. I think it's safer there. And so I need to take the time and transfer those photos, especially the ones with my late mother, there. And then I think I can work towards breaking myself from the chokehold that is Apple. The last time I got this phone, the phone I'm recording on right now, is the iPhone 14. I've had it for quite some time, probably a couple years now. And I got the lower storage, the 256 gigabytes. It's a hot mess. I've been paying Apple monthly $10.83 for 1 terabyte of storage. It irks my soul to pay them each month. And so this time I'm just going to get the highest amount of storage that they have available as I work to de-Apple my life. Because I just don't think that almost $1,700 for a phone is the best use of my money. And I don't want to keep doing it, especially now they're making you pay for chargers. I feel like I heard this, but it just was one of those news that went over my head. And then I was looking, I put stuff in my car. I said, this is how much it's gonna cost me to get this phone. Even with the trade-in of this phone, this is there right now, August. This phone, this iPhone 14, is worth about $235 trade-in. This is lower than it was a couple months ago. It may be even lower they might not even want it when the iPhone 18 comes out in a couple weeks. But it is what it is. I won't get this new phone until I get back to America. I'm not going back to America till October for some family events, some family and friends events. So it's just gonna have to be what it's gonna be. Hopefully they give me some money for the trade-in, but I'm not banking on it. Anywho, the total that I ended up putting from this paycheck towards my goal of my new phone is $200. The next thing that I'm saving for, that I put money towards, is my business class tickets to Thailand. I would like to head to Thailand later on this year, and I would like to go business class. The first time I flew in business class was because I traded in a lot of points. I don't know if this is the most optimal because this is only for one way, but it was optimal for me because this is my first time doing a business flight internationally for a flight that was over 8 hours, and it was the best experience that I've had on a plane. I said, "Oh, I shouldn't have done this," because now I know what it feels like. And this was on American Airlines, so it wasn't even the best airlines, but it felt so great. It felt so wonderful to um, be able to lay my feet up, all the space that was there, the food that they kept bringing us, everything about this experience was what I want. And so when I'm heading to Thailand, I'm flying business class, and so I gotta save up for that. The total that I've been able to put into my business class category, I ended up putting $311.95 out of the total money that they gave me, the total money that I had earned from my latest paycheck from working with this company that I no longer work with. And the last thing I did was the remaining money was put it towards the tax software. The tax software that I'm choosing to use is Crosslink. Out the gate, it's around $1,700 because I have a relationship with a lady who had helped me on board years ago. She said she's going to give me a 20% discount. That's going to bring the cost down. And so I ended up putting $500 towards the total cost of the software that I hope to be purchasing once again once I go back to America, because there's a few steps I need to do with the IRS and get reinstated. So I'm going to make sure I get reinstated before I purchase the software, because if I'm not able to get reinstated as a solo proprietor this year, then I would not be needing to purchase the software. I'll just be doing some contract work until I'm able to get reinstated as a solo preparer. And that is the three things I'm saving for. That is the goal. That was the amount of money that cost all this hoopla, but also made me realize I was wasting my time with them, and I needed to find I need to be the driver of my own income, and I need to diversify this income. So that's what I'm going to be working on over this next until it's until it's done. Actually, there's no time limit. I'll know I've reached my goal when I look at my bank account and it is functioning in the way that I want it to function. Let me know if you have any questions down below, and until next time. Also, get into this nail set. Isn't this gorgeous? I'll insert some pictures. I thought she did a really good job. I enjoy getting my nails done, and this is one of my favorite sets. I really love how this look, that look, anywho, beautiful, beautiful, beautiful work. I'm really enjoying this. All right, like I said, let me know what questions you have down below, and until next time.
I know you could do it. All you gotta do is put your mind to it.